So here's a good sequel to the video I just did. I call it the uncorrupted Adam. What I want to talk about for a moment is the basis for Christians wanting to be naked and unashamed. In fact, more than any other people, Christians have the highest motivation for adopting this way of life. But let's start back at the beginning and lay a foundation in Scripture. So back in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, it says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds in the heavens, and other livestock, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them." Now from these verses we can see that Adam and Eve were created in the image of God. And as such, we're fully naked. Does that mean God's naked? That's another study. They were bearers of the image of God in their bodies. When Jesus came to save us after the fall of Adam, Scripture likens him to the second Adam. Just as one man brought sin and death, the other obeyed and brought life. So now we see that Jesus was the second Adam, bears the image of God. This is borne out in the New Testament. 2 Corinthians 4:4 says, "In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel and the glory of Christ, who is the image of God." And also Colossians 1:15, speaking of Christ, says he is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. So if he's that image, why do we need to be naked? It's because we are followers and disciples of Jesus and are supposed to imitate him in every way that we can. He restored our relationship with the Father while he was hanging naked on a cross to bear our sin and our shame. So we, as disciples of Christ, also obey God and are naked and unashamed before him in love. To be naked is a way of being more Christ-like. When the enemy tries to use our modern culture to impose shame and disgrace on exposure of our bodies, he's trying to cover up the image of God that he hates. To demand that people cover up their bodies to participate in his evil deeds just furthers his work of hiding the image of God from those around us. Romans chapter 1 even talks about how the image of God can be seen in what was created, and the pinnacle of that creation is the human body. Romans 1:18-20 says, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of people who suppress the truth by their unrighteousness, because what can be known about God is plain to them, because he has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, because they are understood through what has been made. So people are without excuse." I know that sounds kind of extreme, but I cannot change the truth in order to make it more palatable to our sensitivities. To cover our bodies is to try and hide that witness of creation from those who are lost. So let's be a Christ follower and don't be ashamed to let others see the image of God by seeing you without clothing. Blessings. Be naked to be a blessing. We'll talk to you again soon.